Hey, seventh grade, what's good? Okay, so, here is today's lesson. So it's basically what we did yesterday, but you are actually gonna have to solve the inequality and write the inequality slash equation. Okay, so you're gonna determine if a word problem is an equation or an inequality, and then you're actually going to solve it. So, a few things before we get started. Yes, you have a digital notebook, and you could just be like, yeah, I know, you're used to it by now. And so, to get started, just click on this Nearpod code right over here, or you could just type in the code for the Nearpod, whichever. But as stated, if you want to use paper and send it to me, you can, but no Nearpod or scratch paper means no credit. If I don't get anything from you, I'm not counting it. So, you understand that you have to show your work today, and to receive credit, you have to either use the Nearpod or paper. Great. We are going to move on. So, at this point, what you should have is the Nearpod on one side and your Google form on the other. We're going to look at example 1. So, example 1 says Trinity was shopping at Target and bought 4 new headbands to wear. She also ended up buying some candy for $4. If Trinity spent a total of $16 at Target, how much did each headband cost? So, first thing is we're just going to determine, is this an equation or an inequality? So if it's telling me that she spent exactly a total of $16, like that is exactly how much she spent, that means this is definitely an equation, because remember, an inequality is has more than one solution. Like it would say maximum or minimum or at most or at least. Here it's telling me exactly how much I spent. So those of you who thought inequality, you're definitely not positive because you're wrong. Okay, now, next, what is the equation and what is the inequality? So what we're going to do is for these next two parts, we're going to switch over to the Nearpod to show some work. So this is going to be example 1, and we just click one more time to the draw feature. Okay, so here is what we know. And let's use a highlighter. I'm going to highlight this. So she was shopping at Target. She got 4 new headbands. Okay. She also ended up buying candy that cost $4. Oh, why does this say Tania and this says... Well, my bad, guys. This was a typo on my end. I'm gonna fix that. But this should be if Trinity spent a total of $16, how much did each headband cost? And I'm gonna highlight this in a different color because I'm gonna highlight this in red because it's telling me what I need to find. Okay, so it's a little too much. Just do this. Okay, so here is the first thing in order to solve this. And number 1, we have to figure out what is the variable here. And the variable is just a letter that represents what we're trying to find, right? So what we're trying to find is highlighted in red, and it is how much did each headband cost? Wow, guys, you can tell I'm really struggling here. There we go. Okay. So in order for this to make sense, or to have a variable that represents what we're trying to find, I'm going to put H. And H equals how much did each headband cost? Actually, let's do C. We're going to put C equals the cost, because we're trying to find the cost of each headband. So the variable always represents what we're trying to find. Okay, and so I'm using a letter because I don't know the cost of each headband. I have to figure that out. Okay, so now we are going to circle or highlight, whichever. I'll just highlight. If this is an equation or an inequality, and this is definitely an equation. Why is this an equation? Because I spent a total of $16, an exact amount, and we just are trying to figure out how much did each headband cost. It is just one solution. So how do we write this equation? Okay, well, let's do this, people. The first thing I know is the total. So I'm going to start off with the total. And we know that the total amount that I spent was $16. Or it's not me, it's Trinity. My bad, not me. Okay, so here, this is the total. We want to figure out what did I spend in order to get 16? Like, what is it that I spent on? So, first thing is we know that I spent or why do I keep saying I? Trinity spent 4 new headbands, and she spent $4 on some candy. So the first thing I'm going to put is $4 here. And the $4 represents the candy that she bought. Okay, now, she bought 4 new headbands, but we don't know the cost of that. So if I want to figure out how much she spent on the headbands, I would have to multiply 4 with the cost of each headband. And that is what would give me how much Trinity spent on the headbands. So what is our equation? Our equation is 4C plus 4 equals 16. And that is what we're going to write right over here. We're going to put 4C plus 4 equals 16. And make sure to put the spaces in between right here. Okay, so how do I actually find out C? How do we know the cost of each headband? Now we already know how to solve this basically. We put the line down the middle and we just figure out what C is. And we've done this so many times. We subtract 4 on both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. You get 4C equals 12. And we know what times 4 gives me 12. Well, that would be 3. So, anyways, we could divide by 4 on both sides. And we get C, or 1C, equals 3. So what does that mean? That means that each headband costs $3. That is what this means. So at the end, you could even type right here, each headband, I don't know why it's in yellow, costs $3. Stop laughing! Sorry guys, it's my sister. Alright, so on the Google Forms, wow, this video is kind of long. Alright, we click $3 right here. But you have to know how to actually, find the equation and solve it. So really important for you to figure out how to write an equation. This video has lasted almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop right here. And if you have questions, just let me know. But this is how you solve example 1.